Whoa!
Oh,
Jesus
man.
Christ! Hey, fire team. LA was just struck by a 9.6 magnitude earthquake, the largest earthquake ever recorded in history.
The National Guard has set up an emergency shelter 20 miles outside of town, and we gotta get there.
Total chaos is ensuing outside. Every infrastructure is down. It's looking like we're gonna have to walk there. We are here to get the supplies that we need to make this happen. We hope this never happens to you, but if it does, maybe you can take something away from this video. Welcome to Shift Fire.
So Cam and I are splitting up in order to cover the most amount of ground in the least amount of time, get all our supplies together, consolidate them, and then make that trek to that shelter together across the desert. Now I'm here in the hats section because I like a little bit of shade. This is gonna be good for trekking across the desert in the daytime for that shade.
We have these reflector vests, super bright colors, extremely easy to identify. Purpose of thinking behind these is to signal any type of emergency services, maybe a service helicopter or emergency services that are patrolling in the area offering aid. I want to be able to signal them. So wearing bright colors or even having something bright that's easily identifiable might do you some good.
I'm looking at the boot selection they have here. They're pretty good selection. If I can, I want something light, breathable, all right, maybe a little bit of insulation. We're gonna be walking at night maybe in that cold desert air. This is the one that's kind of caught my eye. This high-tech boot, pretty light. That's something that I'm looking for. Pretty comfortable on the inside, get some good padding. This is probably the one I'm going with, and it's my size, so that's very important too.
Rucksack. We're gonna need something to be able to carry all the items that we need to get us to that emergency National Guard relief shelter. So the Alice Pack, in my opinion, are some of the greatest rucks ever produced, and the surplus is the best place to get them because these are the authentic ones that were issued back in the day. They have two of them, one for Izzy, one for myself.
Okay, we are in a really good part of the store right now because there's a lot here that I could use for our trek across the desert to that shelter. Right here I'm looking at a headlamp, really good for walking at night if we got to do that. And then I like this one's got a USB chargeable option, so then I can grab something like this solar panel. If I want to during the day, put this on the back of the ruck. It's going to be charging the headlamp while we're walking during the day. And then at night, I got a charged headlamp. I can keep on trucking, it's hands-free. So it's a really good option.
Rope. Rope is going to be super important for navigating us through the terrain out there. Road systems are going to be completely toppled over, bridges destroyed, plus we may encounter people that may need assistance or rescue, and rope is going to be a perfect way to do that. We can rappel, we can create rope bridges to get us past obstacles. It's going to be an amazing tool, and it looks like they have a ginormous selection here. This 100-foot bundle I think is going to be excellent for just packing in the rucksack, making sure we can navigate or rappel off something to keep our movement going because we got a long way to go, and I think it's long enough to assist. But if we got rope, we're gonna need a harness. Now, I haven't seen any harnesses in this store, but that's not a problem because with rope, we can make a harness. So utilizing some of these smaller, I can build what's called a Swiss seat, which essentially wraps around my waist, goes through my legs, is tied off, and now I can use rope as a harness to rappel or to clip in to make sure I'm safe.
I'm gonna grab some water for us, or rather water carrying receptacles. We got a bunch of good options, right? We got this Condor 2.5 liter Camelback with a straw coming out of it, good option. Also, we got these canteens, 2 liters right here. If we need to, any kind of filtration, we got iodine tablets so we can get water from any kind of supply we need to. Pop these iodine tablets in there and we're good to go after a couple minutes. I found these Life Straw water bottles with a filter inside of it, so you can just fill it up at any water source, then it gets filtered as you drink it. So great for on the go. We got to keep moving to that shelter.
It looks like we got quite a selection of MREs or meals ready to eat that we can take with us. I see a lot of individual packets here, but I also see this constructed survival kit with 3 days of supplies. It also not only includes rations, but we have a Mylar emergency blanket, which is an excellent tool for maintaining body heat at night. If there happens to be any thermal threats out there, Mylar can mask your thermal signature for a short period of time.
First aid kits, they got a couple different brands there. Bandages, alcohol pads, scissors, good for trauma, cat tourniquet, very similar to the ones that I was issued in the military. Emergency bandages here for some major hemorrhaging. Really good. I'm gonna take a couple of these things. We're gonna get on the road.
All right, so since there is a very likely chance this is gonna turn into a multiple day operation, it seems like they have a good selection of sleeping bags. I see some German Flecktarn right here. Since we have a sleeping bag, we're going to need a sleeping pad. The ground likes to suck the heat right out of you like a $5. We can't let that happen. So we're gonna need something to separate us from the ground. A sleeping pad is perfect and it adds comfort, so we can get that proper rest that we need to tackle that hike the next day. So I'm gonna grab 2 of these for Izzy and I, and we're gonna see what's next. All right, Izzy.
Cameron, we've done a really good job of getting the basic supplies that we're gonna need to make it out to the emergency shelter. Now we gotta protect ourselves.
Probably one of the most important things, right? We can't get to that shelter if we're attacked or maimed, injured, killed. Chaos tends to ensue great violence. So as individuals, we need to be able to meet that violence head on with some things that are able to protect ourselves. Yeah. So we're in California. That means guns in surplus stores.
Weapons. Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
No pistols, no rifles.
Unfortunately. We found a couple items around the store that we think would be the next best thing to defend ourselves.
Just found this really cool TAC Force hatchet. I like it because it's got a little bit of heft to it. It's strictly a chopping weapon, right? I mean, if I needed to maybe help build a shelter, maybe out in the middle of the desert. Mostly, yeah, it's got the fear factor. It's a good chopping weapon. Also bonus, emblazoned with the American flag. Never forget where you came from, folks. Looks pretty sturdy. Yeah, I'd trust it for a 2-3 day journey.
Looks like you can mount it to a belt or something. Right. Put it in the rucksack. It's not gonna take up a lot of room. Excellent tool. We have an authentic K-bar knife made in the US of A, baby, made extremely famous by the Marine Corps. Every person, especially in a survival situation, should have some sort of bladed tool. Great blade length, looks about 7 inches. Great to have, can be stored on a belt.
Yeah, we got one more here, Cameron. You wanna take it out of my sheath?
Wow. I mean, it's not the best balanced blade I've ever had, but if someone pulls a machete on you, they're either part of the cartel or completely crazy. See how fun it would be to hack someone apart with one of these?
I mean, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen now. That Absolutely. Or a zombie apocalypse. Got a serrated edge there, maybe for intimidation factor. I don't know if we had to saw anything in half apart from a limb, but it's on there if you want it.
Absolutely. All right, Izzy, what do you think? Did we get everything?
I think we got everything, Cameron. But what do you think? Leave a comment in the comment section letting us know your thoughts.
Absolutely. And before we go, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to Shift Fire. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's get out of here. No! Huh. Oh. Baby wipes. Pack these too. Well, thank you.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not.